I was going to ask Bryan Harsin right off the bat here if he fills out a bracket, but we are good friends with Rick Neuheisel, so we know. I don't think they've changed the rules. I don't think you can do that. As
You
a
still
coach.
fill it out. You can't Venmo anybody.
It's all in how you do it.
I think we had Neuheisel on right before we had Bryan Harsin on at SEC Media Days this year, and we were still talking about
The problem is Neuheisel was good at this. I don't know if Coach Harson's any good at the brackets.
about filling out the brackets.
Well, we'll get into it. We'll make some tips later on. Coach Bryan Harsin is with us now on the Johnston RV Center hotline, JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Welcome in, Coach. Hope you're doing well this morning.
I'm doing well. Yeah, good morning. How are you guys?
Doing great. Thanks a lot. A lot we want to get to with you. I will just start by asking you, the last month to 6 weeks has been an interesting time for you. Can you put into some context how that has been for you and your family?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, Jim, I got to ask you a question.
Okay.
All right. How are you feeling about your Bucks now that Tom Brady's back?
By the way.
I got the T-shirt
Yes.
on.
Yeah.
I got the
Well,
T-shirt
yeah, you're
on.
wearing it.
Yeah.
You're wearing it, so you're representing. I want to know how you feel about that.
Well, you know, Coach, I was ready to. I'd made peace with it. Won Super Bowl and a division championship. I was sort of excited about the rebuild. You know, you coaches do that all the time. Y'all get into these rebuilds. Right. I was thinking about the rebuild, but one more year, those receivers aren't going to be there forever. I'll ride one more time with the GOAT.
The guy's older than you, Coach.
He is older than you, yeah.
I know. My son reminds me all the time and wishes I had been a better football player because he sees Tom Brady doing it. So hard to live up to. Ryan, you're a Dolphins fan, aren't you?
That is correct, Coach. We don't need to go down that road. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about that.
Nor should you. Not at all. Yeah.
So we're starting this off at the Stardome. I like this.
I like that.
You got a bit. I like it.
Coach came with material. I like it.
No, well, to get your question, so the last couple of months, so from a professional standpoint, I've been really proud of our football team to see the guys come together and to see this staff, as we went through some tough times, and to see guys step up and lead and really bring the team together. So that's something that we have always felt here is really important, that you have a player-driven team and guys on the team are leading to make that happen. So we got a chance to see that. Personally, one of the most difficult times that my family and I have ever been through, really. And, just some of the things that were played out on social media, some of the attacks, the information that were baseless, and kind of dealing with that is something that, my family and I have never been through. And, one of the things for me, just as a coach, like this is something that you understand as part of the profession, right? You're going to get scrutinized for things you do and on the field and maybe other things with recruiting and all the other stuff that comes with it. But just some of the things that my family and I went through, it just went too far at the end of the day. And, when it was all said and done and everybody moved on, it still has left some scars and some things that we're dealing with. And, the one thing I'll say about my family is they're awesome. They are very tough. This was something for us that we had to go through. And so I'm really proud of them. I'm proud of my wife. And, she's the rock star, all right, of the family. And she's the one that, has to deal with helping our kids and the things that we do just in the Harsin household. And so, it's just been a time of being really, really proud of our team, dealing with some things with our family. And then at the same time, just getting ready for where we are right now, just moving forward and not looking back. That's really where we are right now. We're just moving forward. Today is the first day of spring practice. Our guys have been working extremely hard to get ready for this day in the weight room, their conditioning, all those things. And, right now it's our opportunity to step on the field this afternoon and go out there and just play football and have the staff, the players, everybody together and go throw the ball around and work on tackling, work on catching the ball, work on ball security, work on all the fundamentals that are going to make us a better football team. But also know what we've been through to get to where we are right now and not forget that, learn from it, build from it, grow, and take all of those things that we've experienced into this next phase, which is spring ball, and come out of it better. And I really believe we will. And I really believe in this team and believe in this staff. And I'm excited about where we're headed and what we get a chance to do today.
You know, when you have these manufactured rumors, you know they're not true. So I would assume the most difficult part, going back to your wife being the rock, I mean, the most difficult part for you has got to be, you know, having to sit down with them and have these conversations, because you personally know they're not true, but you've got to protect your family as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing through all of it. You know the truth. You know what's being said is false. And but that's part of what social media brings. And sometimes, there's some positives to it, and there's a lot of things. And I talk to our players about it, that there's a lot of stuff on there. It's just like the sewer that you got to be very careful of. And, like when this was over, the mob just moves on. They're just on to their next victim, and they're on to the next thing. They're on to whatever they're going to talk about next. And so as you're dealing with it, sometimes in these situations, it just takes some time. What the facts are. What's being said is not true, but you got to go through a process, and then it just takes time while things are being said. And the best part about it is my family. Like we know who we are. We know what we stand for. We know that character and reputation in our family is really important. That's something that Kess and I have always made first and foremost about, our relationship and each other, is our character and our reputation. And our kids have grown up in that as well. So honestly, when that comes under attack, that becomes number one. And really at that point, that was the most important thing, is just, the character and reputation, things that were being portrayed that were not true, that were baseless. So that's the frustrating piece, but you deal with that. And also, out of that, though, you get to find out some things that maybe wouldn't have happened, all right, if that weren't the case. And so to see guys step up and to lead and to get in front of people and have conversations, to come out and say things on social media to back up what it is that we're doing, to really see leadership. I think when leadership is needed, someone has to provide it. And I saw a lot of our players do that. And I was very proud of those guys for doing that, saw coaches do that. And, so that's part of where we are today. Because guys did that, because they acted, because they believed in what they were saying. I feel like our team is in a really good place. I feel like where we're going in this program is where we need to be going, to try to bring Auburn to be a championship level program, because that's what we all want to do, and have a program that we're proud of. And our players now that are here, guys that stayed, guys that we signed, guys that are going to be a part of this program in the future, they know that what we're building as a team is going to help us to be successful. And they know that we have leadership and guys in this team that will stand up and do those things. So I can't wait till we get out there today, honestly, just to be on the field with these guys, to watch them go out there and do what they love doing. They put a lot of work in. We've been through quite a bit, and today is going to be a great time just to get out there and play ball and continue to build our team, build our program, all right, and bring things together through these 15 practices that are going to make us a better football team going into summer. And then we're going to take that next step in the summer, and we'll move on into fall camp from there.
Okay, one more before we move on. I'm old enough to have covered Tommy Tuberville back in 2003, and I saw what you're talking about happen. That locker room rallied around each other and their coach, and they had a magical 2004 season. But my question to him back then and to you now, can you still trust, and I know you love Alan Green and the AD, but can you trust the people above him, the boosters and backers at Auburn? Is there trust there with you still with those people?
Sure. Well, listen, number one, I think that's always going to be something that people speculate in many programs, like who the decision makers are. I think more so at Auburn, from what I've learned. But at the same time, like, I'm here to coach football. I'm here to lead this team. I'm here to help build this program. And so from that standpoint, I don't get into too much of those decisions and necessarily who's making them. To me, everybody has a responsibility. I've got bosses. Everybody's, that's one thing that I understand as well. I've got things that I need to do as the football coach here. People make decisions. And the one thing that I look at is this isn't about, somebody winning or somebody losing at Auburn. When it comes to our program, when it comes to our university, this is about all of us aligning and pulling in the same direction so that we can be as strong as a program as anybody in the country. And to me, that's the key to success. When everybody's pulling in the same direction, when everybody believes or is aligned, let me say that, aligned with what we want and where we want to go, then players and everybody in your program feels that. And at the end of the day, we all know and we feel that. We feel like we're in a really great environment where we're getting better and everybody's pulling the same direction. To me, that's the key to our success. And I feel like we're doing that. I feel like we had some really productive conversations. I feel like we made a lot of strides in a really positive way. And leadership, our athletic department, our football program, we know the direction that we're headed. And the players and everybody feels that. And so that gives us the momentum right now going into spring ball and will give us the momentum we need to go into the season as long as that continues. So if that's where we're continuing to go, then to me, that's the key to, what we're trying to build and how we're doing things.
Auburn coach Bryan Harsin is with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Let's talk about the on the field now, Coach. And, everybody looks at quarterback. You know that. And the guy that started the most games for you last year transferred out to Oregon. You did take a transfer in Zach Calzada. What did you see in him that you liked, and how does he fit into this quarterback room you have?
Yeah, we got to play against Zach. And one, he's got a very strong arm. He's accurate. And so you got a chance to see that. I think he's competitive, very tough. You watch the game he played against Alabama. He played really well in that game, did some really good things. And when I see quarterbacks, I look for guys that can throw it, that can move, that can do all those things just to play the position. But there's also a mentality that goes along with it. And I think Zach has that. I think all the guys at the quarterback position we have that as far as just toughness. Guys that will prepare themselves, guys that are going to make good decisions. That remains to be seen as we go into spring. But you got to be a tough dude, and you got to be a guy that will stand in the pocket, will deliver. You got to be somebody that will prepare himself to make great decisions, will spend the time necessary to really understand what is needed from him at the quarterback position. So TJ, all those guys, you mentioned Robbie, Holden coming in here as well, D Davis, Sawyer Pate, Trey Lindsey, all those guys, they all understand the requirements that we feel like are necessary for our quarterbacks to be successful. Now they got to go out there and execute it on the field. And that's the beauty of having a chance to get on the field right now, as they get an opportunity to start going out there and throwing it, playing catch, running routes, getting under center, getting in the gun, getting 11 on 11. And they're going to have a chance to really have everything they do documented. It's all on video. And it's going to be graded every single day. And at the end of those 15 practices, all right, where are these guys at? And then we'll reevaluate where we're going from there. But I like where Zach's been. I like where these guys are, because they're doing a really good job of preparing themselves. And Coach Keesaw has done a great job of helping those guys and bringing them along to understand the importance of getting prepared to play this position at the level that we need you to.
You've also got new offensive and defensive coordinator. How difficult is it to replace coordinators after 1 year?
Yeah, well, I think, that's every year there's turnover in college football. You see that, right? Staffs, people change. If you win, coaches are going to go somewhere. You lose, things change. Sometimes it's their decision. Sometimes it's the head coach's decision. The coordinators now, I've worked with Coach Keesaw, and as a wide receiver coach and as a coordinator for me. I've worked with Jeff Schmedding as a coordinator as well. And both those guys, the one thing I'd say, they really understand what we need to do on each side of the ball to be successful. They're very good organizers. They're very good at just the details of every single thing. And an example, like, where do coaches stand at practice? All right. How do we signal things in? Just the little things to operate the systems each and every day. And then the schemes, and then obviously the play calling. Both have done it And I think they've done it at a very high level and have done a very good job at it. Rock Bellantoni, with our special teams, he's done it before. He's been a defensive coordinator. And last night, he got in front of the room. He talked about leadership and his presence in front of the room, because as a special teams coordinator, you're going to get the majority of the team.
Right.
You have a chance to bring offense and defense together, and you get a chance to bring them together for one play on special teams and coach them all. And he does a tremendous job in front of the team of just communicating. And he had their attention last night. He has presence. So I think all three of them, I'm excited about. They're all just eager to get out there and put their spin on what it is that we're doing. But I do know this. I know that we're going to be prepared every single day. I know that coaches and players will know what to do. Now we got to go out there and actually get it done. But those guys provide that. And I've been around them and I've seen it, and I'm looking forward to seeing it again today.
Every great recruiter I talk to says you have to win over the kid, but there's always one family member that you have to win over as well. If I'm recruiting Davis Harsin, Auburn quarterback, who's the one family member I've got to win over other than just winning him over to get him to come to my school?
Yeah, well, that would be his mother, without question. Yeah. I'd be, if I went on a recruiting visit, I'd be looking at all the stuff. I'd be looking at all the uniforms and all the things I tell guys not to look at. Mom's going to make sure that, like any parent, this is what I think. All right. As a parent, and now that my kids are the same age as the guys that we recruit, things changed for me over time. When they were younger, I had one perspective. As they got older, all I want them to be around is good people. All right, I want them to be developed and all those things like that. But I want to make sure that I'm going to drop my kid off, that they're going to be around good people and they're going to be taken care of. And so I think that's the one thing that we try to make sure parents know, that, look, they're literally 2 minutes from where we are right now in the dorms. If they're not there, we're going to get them. We're going to help them through what they need to do from their academics. All right, their education is really important to us. Their development's important to us. Who they become in this experience while they're here is extremely important to us. And I remind the parents and the players, like, college football is not a career, it's an experience. You're coming here for an experience. You're coming here to be a part of something and learn and grow and develop. So when you leave, you're ready for whatever's next. That's really what we do. We have got to develop people so when they leave here, they're ready to go succeed at whatever they do next. And so, but no doubt about it, my wife would be all about just, where is my son going to be developed? Because dad needs to do a better job here. So hopefully wherever he ends up going, all right, they can help in those areas.
Do you come home one night and let her know it's the official visit that night so she makes your favorite meal? Is that the way that works?
Yeah. No, that's I don't really say any of those things like that. I just make sure to come home and whatever I'm told. Well, let me just say this. So Rockstar, I heard that he's got his first kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's what I learned. All right. When I was single, I was first string. When I got married, I became second string. All right. When I had my first kid, I became third string. All right. Now I've got two others. All right. So figure that. I got 3 kids. I got 2 cats and 2 dogs. I mean, I'm the water boy. All right. So just really understand, like, what's about to happen. But wouldn't trade it for anything. So congratulations, Rockstar. You're
Thank you,
about
sir.
to
I
experience
appreciate it.
the best thing that's ever happened to you in your life.
We're hoping
Wow.
so.
Good.
We're hoping so.
Yeah.
That's a low bar for Rockstar, but all right.
Well, Rockstar, we usually end every interview with a weird Rockstar question. So, Coach, before you go, Rockstar has something off the beaten path usually. What do you have, Rockstar?
Well, speaking of that, we're all on a diet here. The majority of us are on a diet, and you are surrounded by temptation wherever you go. And last night, we've been living with my parents for the past month because we're doing some housework, and we had KFC last night. So if you had a cheat meal today, no calories, calories don't count, doesn't matter what you eat. What are you eating today? Anything you want does not matter. Tomorrow does not matter. What do you eat?
McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Oh, cheeseburgers. Yeah, how many?
Yeah,
that is it. Yeah. That is it. I hammered about 7 of them one time between when I was playing baseball in high school. We had a doubleheader, and I don't know if it was a dare or I was just hungry, but I had about 7 of them, and I could eat McDonald's cheeseburgers all day long. But I don't. Rockstar, I got a little more discipline than that now. So,
Godspeed, my friend. That's a
All
lot.
right.
7 cheeseburgers, my Lord.
yes. Now that was a while ago. My metabolism, it was working at a lot higher level than it does now. So I've had to slow down on that. But every time I drive by one, I think about driving in there. I just haven't done it yet. Now you just put it in my head. I may have to go do
That's
that.
right. Our first day of practice is going to be
can do that.
nerve eating.
You'll work it out.
That's all right. Spring starts at Auburn today. Coach, thank you very much for the time. A pleasure to catch up with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. War Eagle.
All right, take care. That is Bryan Harsin, the head football coach of the Auburn Tigers, with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.